This video is meant to provide guidance on preparing an analysis of literature and meant to be watched after identifying an issue or problem to examine and collecting some sources and resources that address your topic. To remind everyone of the purpose of an analysis of literature, we make the following points. That we do an analysis of literature to identify new ways to interpret research, to reveal gaps that exist in the literature, acknowledging that studies may be contradictory and we should attempt to reconcile their findings, to determine potential paths for additional research, and perhaps most importantly, to describe how your study of the issue or problem is impacting your practice. To move toward a cohesive capstone project, you must consider how to organize your sources to deliver a meaningful synthesis of your research. This can be achieved in several ways. You can organize your sources by chronology of events, by uncovering themes, through description of methods, by positioning arguments, and/or through the delineation of types of an argument. So, what do each of these organizational strategies entail? Looking at organizing by chronology, that means we should plan narrative that highlights the order in which the materials were published. However, only use this approach if the sources demonstrate a clear progression along a timeline. To organize by conceptual categories means that you will want to cluster sources under umbrella topics, rather than the progression of time. However, you may still need to consider the timeline of the works within each subsection. Next, organizing by research methods involves sorting sources into ways of conducting and writing about research. For example, the most prominent being qualitative versus quantitative reports, and there are other ways that you might want to sort as well. To organize by counterposition, you create a back and forth debate, presenting ideas that support an argument and ideas that refute an argument. Finally, you may organize your sources according to the style of the article or work. Are some pieces practical? Which ones are philosophical? Can you clearly identify studies that make assertions through data? It's important to only use this approach if you have a substantial amount of sources for each style of argument. Now let's describe the overall structure for working on your paper. It should have 5 distinct sections: an introduction, a rationale, your synthesis of the literature, some closing arguments, and implications for your personal practice. In particular, to position yourself to complete your capstone next semester, there are 2 important next steps. By the end of this semester, it is expected that you'll complete your introduction, writing a brief presentation of the issue, defining any terms that may need explanation as one reads your report, and providing broad strokes that describe the importance of examining this problem. From a practical standpoint, the introduction should be somewhere between 1 to 3 paragraphs with a target of somewhere around 250 to 750 words. Also, the introduction should be written from a formal perspective. In other words, third person, omniscient, like a reporter's point of view. You'll also want to complete your rationale for the inquiry, meaning you should provide a written account detailing why this is an important topic, and in particular, why it is important to you personally. It's expected that you frame this section with at least 3 specific explanations for why you chose this topic. You will need to write at least 3 paragraphs, anywhere between 750 to 1,250 words, and this section should be written in first person. Use I statements. Make it personal. With all that clear as mud, I ask what questions are coming to the surface for you. Let me know.